Begin to step towards the front of your mat, and as we inhale, we'll lift the hands overhead. Take a moment, so as you exhale, you'll be sitting back. And so this will be an exhale, sit back, inhale, hands down, exhale, and inhale. And so as we exhale, we're really pulling that belly button in and pushing and shifting from belly button to tailbone, inhaling as the chest comes up. Take a moment to sit, adjust, squeeze the shoulders into the spine, hugging down and back. And then we'll exhale, fold. Well, here we'll be doing what I like to call a yoga deadlift. So we're pulling the belly button in tight. We're keeping the spine nice and long, and we're opening up the collarbone as we release down. This will prepare our lower back from all the ups and downs that we'll be moving into, and so that we learn to keep the core tight. Let it go, release it out. You can shake, you can wiggle, loosen up the head and neck. Really let the spine just fall in the opposite direction that it is all day long. We're stretching through the hamstrings, so if you need to wiggle out the legs, make sure you're never locking any joints. Hands come down, and then we're guiding ourselves up with a big inhale, diving forward. We want to make sure we're using all of the body, and then stepping back into your plank. Elbows pull in and back, and then lowering down simultaneously through the body. Inhale, lift the chest, draw the shoulders back, open up so it's a big arch, and then exhale down. Here we'll push through the knees before coming onto the toes for our downward facing dog. Again, we want to make sure that we're not locking any joints, so soften those elbows, let the head hang heavy. Pedaling through the heels, and then we're floating forward and back. Forward and back. Again, let it be more of a floating movement, so try not to muscle through this one. It's more of a waving through a spine, shifting through the shoulders. And then we'll be lifting the left heel first, lifting up. So we have a slight squeeze of the glute, but more focused on the core for this one. So driving that knee through, and again, working the shoulders so that we can prepare ourselves for that step through. Let the back foot open into this warrior two stance. And then from the middle, squeeze the glutes and roll up through the spine, slice the arms open, and you're in warrior two. We'll pump up and then sink down. So we're getting this kind of one-legged squat going as we're stretching through one hip. So it's this exhale down, inhale up like you're gathering air and then pressing it down. Now notice your spine as you start to shift back, open up through that front rib, drive down through the elbow, reach up and over, stretching through the back rib. And then we're going to work that shoulder by pulling in through the elbow. So it's this inhale, exhale, squeeze, inhale, reach, exhale, squeeze. Pulling through, leveling back out. And then we'll straighten that front leg and shift ourselves into our triangle. And we're just teeter-tottering from back to front as we warm up that hip. Then we'll reach all the way through on the next one. Let that hand come down, the other hand comes up, and then we're closing a book and opening up. Again, we're stretching through this low back, through the lumbar area. Keep the core tight to really support yourself and push your feet into opposite directions. So we want even press, lifting up and down. Now we're working through those sides. And you could be looking down or up in this position as we warm it up, and then we'll float all the way back through into that reverse warrior. Drive down through that elbow, and then allow yourself to reach into that side angle. We're going to let the hand come down next to the foot, frame the feet so you can turn that back toe safely, and then really squeeze in through that glute so that your hip and your knee are in line so that we can come up into this lunge. We're going to hold here, and we're going to press through this to stretch out the psoas and get a little core action. So take a moment to really find your balance, and then pressing through. We have a slight scoop of the belly. Let it relax, and then press through. So here we're not going to overarch the low back. we're just focusing on pushing the core. Now pull that belly button in more and steady yourself for stepping back and forward. We have to really make sure that that knee feels well in this position though. So we've got this inhale back, exhale forward, inhale back, exhale forward. And you can use this arm movement, or you can just keep a steady arm, depending if you want to work those shoulders more. We'll be coming into a twist from here. So we're back into this chair pose. We're going to take a big exhale as we twist so that we're wringing out the organs. This creates a detoxifying effect. And we're lengthening the spine, keep zipping that belly button in. We really want to make sure that the knees do not go past the toes. Take it up, take it over to the other side, and lengthen through the neck, through the head. Really making this as gentle as you need to. You can always modify by taking the elbow into the middle of the legs. And then bring it back to center. Inhale up. Take a moment and dive it back forward. Let yourself release, hands down, step back into your plank. Pull the elbows in, lower down, collarbone stays open. Lifting collarbone, keep staying open as we move into that cobra, and then back down. Through the knees, onto the toes, and then up and back into that down dog. Now again, be careful if your shoulders are getting tired. Do not lock those elbows. Wiggle, shake it out if you need to. And then we have the right foot or opposite foot of last time. And we're going to push through. Again, here the focus is really pulling in through that core and lengthening so that we're preparing ourselves for that step through. The foot lands, we open up the back foot, come into middle first so we get an even squeeze of the glutes as you come up, slice it open, warrior two. And then we're pumping through this one again, so we're reaching up, big inhale, exhale, level it out, inhale up, exhale, level. So we're really starting to get a little cardio moving through this. Take it into that reverse. Take a breath, take a moment. Elbow coming through, reaching through it, pumping through that shoulder. So we're stretching through those ribs, activating the back. So make sure you're pulling back and in towards the spine, and then level yourself back out. Straighten the front legs for the triangle as we reach forward, shifting back and forth, warming up those hips. And this is where we start to build up some strength as well. That top hand comes down. And not only are we stretching through that lumbar, we're creating this dynamic movement that keeps the mind occupied. So you'll find it hard to think about much else other than just doing this. Up and down. Inhale up, exhale down, working through the lumbar to strengthen it some more. And so here we're getting that side waist, float it back, elbow pulls through. And again, we're coming back into that lunge just on this side. So turn the back toe, steady yourself, squeeze that glute in so that your hip and knee are in line, full foot planted on the floor, reaching the hands up, squeeze the shoulders back and down, and then squeeze the core as you push forward. And you can make a lot of noises here. So this can be a big exhale. So sometimes we use the Ujjayi breath. So it's this almost Darth Vader sound. And then make sure, again, you're in line before stepping back and stepping forward. You can add the arms, but you don't have to. So we're really building up some glute and hip strength. And we're going to add a little bit more here in a moment. Allow yourself to find your balance, to find your focus. And then we're adding that twist. Pull through, twisting towards that side that you were just working. Take a deep breath, open up the chest, up and over to the other side. Another deep breath, keep breathing, steady breath. If you lose your breath, you've lost the pose. So there should always be a consistent breath that you're in control of. Otherwise, the pose became in control of you. Taking it down and up. And moving through that chair. We're then going to take this even wider into more of a Malasana squat, which is a big hip opener. Our hips should be a little bit warmer now. Take a moment. Again, we're prepping it. So you can wiggle, you can shift. Make sure that your heels stay down, your toes stay down. We'll inhale up, bring the hands into prayer, and then slide it back down. Big opening, inhale up, exhale, hands to prayer, slide it down. Keep this going, and you might find that you get a little bit lower and lower each time, but your bottom does not have to drop as much as mine does. I'm a yoga teacher. I'm used to doing this all day long. You might not be, so be patient, be kind with yourself. We're going to twist in this one as well. So the hands come down, one opens up, let the elbow press into the knee, and then hands comes down, and then we'll step this back. So just give yourself a little patience. Make sure it moves with a breath. Downward facing dog, and then we'll be coming into a child's pose next. Knees go wide, big toes come together, push your bottom back. Now if you still need some twist through this, you can slide one hand back while the other one is stretched out. And so give yourself wiggles or shifts. And again, you can slide one back, reach out through the hand, and kind of just give yourself a little press and twist. We never want to try to pop our back, but we can definitely get a little relief from muscles. And so just adding some extra blood flow into those muscles or alleviating any pressure that might have built up, especially when we're loosening up the shoulders already. Rest here in child's pose for as long as you need.